All right, so welcome everyone. So I'm Thomas Watson, and this is how to build your listing presentation. So what we're doing here is we're going to walk through and populate the ROG listing presentation that you can find in your Zone account. So you would go to one login, go to Zone, that's where your personal information is. On the left navigation, you're going to go down to Marketing tab and then click there. And then you'll see Listing Presentations. You'll click there. And then the first two you'll see, one is a vertical and one is a horizontal. Depending on what you're going to use, if you're just going to use your phone, you might want to do the vertical. If you're using anything else, you probably want to do the horizontal. So go ahead and download that and we will get started. So I said I was going to tell you guys what the secret sauce is to a listing, right? How to win that listing. So remind me at the end, I'm going to give you that secret sauce. It all comes together in this class, but at the end, just make sure you ask me that question and I'm going to answer it directly. Okay, is everybody ready to get started? All right, so this is the listing presentation from Zone that I have up on the screen. So what you want to do is, here's the understanding here. Realty One Group, their technology team has built this listing presentation after research and study. So the colors are factored in, the photos, and definitely the content. So the content that you're going to see in this listing presentation is absolute need to know information by sellers in relation to listing their property. So, however, when we go through it, I will tell you, there may be one or two slides that I would put together as one or eliminate one or the other. So there's no wrong answer there. But at the end of this session, you will have a completed, populated, personalized listing presentation that'll you can have in your pocket, on your iPad, on your computer to take to your client or prospective client and win the listing. Good morning. So just, pull up table and share. And all right. Any questions so far? Okay, what you're seeing on the screen is kind of the cover page and or slide number one. So Realty One Group Revolution, you have the option, there is a box, a fillable box under Realty One Group. That is where you need to fill in Revolution, because our firm is not Realty One Group, it's Realty One Group Revolution. So anything that you advertise should have Realty One Group Revolution. That's your sign, your business card, anything on social media. So that's our brand, that's our firm. The corporate name, Realty One Group, is the identifier. And I think down the road, the company wants to drop the Realty One Group and only have the one logo as our identifier, but it's going to take a few years to get to that. All right, under the name or the company name, you see the one listing presentation. What I would do is, if you would like, put a text box in under one listing presentation and put 4 and then whatever your client's names are. That way, each time you update this presentation, you can personalize it to that client. I didn't add that here because I don't care to do that. But if you want it to be a little more personalized, then you have the option of doing that. So as you can see the slides, by the way, it's on PowerPoint, but if you have Google up, it will allow you to convert it to a Google slide. And as a Google slide, you have a lot of different editing formats. So it will give you, if you click on a photo or a photo box, it'll allow you to either go on the net to pick up a photo or pull one in from your computer or from a URL. All right, before I move on to slide 2, are there any questions? By the way, the photo here is just a family photo. If your target group is other than families, you could find a photo to fit in there. We want people to identify. We want our target group to identify with our presentation. All right, moving on to slide 2. So in your listing presentation, right off the bat, you need a purpose. So you can take the company purpose, which is already stated here, or you can put your own verbiage in here. So our one purpose, and what you're doing is when you're going through this, when you have this listing presentation up and you're in front of your clients, the objects, the photos, the words on the screen is kind of like memory joggers. And what it lets you know, okay, this is where I talk about my purpose. And so let me take 30 seconds and tell them about my purpose. So everything that you want to say to them is not on this PowerPoint, but it is in symbology and in buzzwords. So for example, under one home, you can tell them, hey, it's my the reason why I'm in real estate is to make sure that every family has a home. Or go talk about your dream for your clients and how they can realize it through home ownership. Or one life at a time. This is how we touch people. Our firm helps people navigate through real estate transactions to make the most of their investment so they can spend more time with their family. You get what I'm saying here? Whatever your purpose statement is, you can go ahead and key it in right here on the bottom right. Or you could move that text box somewhere else on the screen. Anything that you want to move or update, it's up to you. This is your presentation. I will tell you though, out of the box, this is a really good presentation to go with without doing a whole lot of editing. Do you know what I'm doing? Okay, good. All right. So if y'all have questions, make sure you stop me. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you, but this works better for me with Zoom. All right, so the next slide, our one manifesto is what Realty One Group calls it, or we had our purpose before, now this is our mission. So what is your mission statement? It should go right here, or you can stick with this. So in the middle of the picture, it says, take risks, be bold, seize the day. You know, how can you relay this information to your client? Even if you're not in front of them and they read this, they're going to say, oh, good, he takes risks, he's bold. That's the kind of agent I need. Over here, it says one chance to make a meaningful, to make it meaningful, your life, and one opportunity to live with no regrets. Whatever it is you want to say, your mission in helping people would go right here. See my laser. That little red dot's my laser, by the way. It's not working too well on the screen.
I see it.
All right, okay, good. Any questions on this slide? All right, moving on. Okay, so if you remember in our Rev Up classes, we talk about our clients' wants, needs, and expectations. And we have what you call pre-interview sheets, pre-listing, whatever, pre-buyer, whatever, intake forms, whatever you want to call them. This is where intentionally we get in front of them, we ask them open-ended questions so we can understand what they want, what they need, and what they expect out of selling their home. So based on that, then I come up with my goal. So what you're going to do is replace the verbiage with your own. What is it that you do for your clients? So for me, mine is to maximize the return on your investment, which is your home. I just put that there because I always want to put home in front of them. quickly and efficiently so that your family can keep pursuing their wildest dreams. See, the reason I put that there is I hope that gets their attention. They may laugh, but if it gets their attention, then I've got them, because I want them to talk about their dreams. So for me, dreams has a lot to do with purpose, mission, vision. It's kind of the overrun, the result of all of that. Or the dream could be, you know, I don't know if I could ever do this, I could ever own a home, but whatever. But anyway, for me, I think this gets people to talking. So this is why I put dreams in my understanding your wants, needs, and expectations. So I want you to take a minute, think about it. I want you to be jotting down, I want you to jot down something about what your goal is. Even if it's just a placeholder for right now, and you can come back and refine it. What is a goal? And you don't even have to put my goal here, but I want them to know that it's my goal to help them maximize the return on their investment. Or you could say, I think the template comes with help you make the most money in the quickest amount of time. Whatever you think your clients would like to hear, or the way they would like to hear it. All right, so we also have talked about our UVP. Who can tell me what the UVP is? Yep. All right, Drew got it. Unique value proposition. So what is the one thing, or maybe two things, that makes you stand out from the other 16,000 agents in the greater Charlotte market? So for me, I go back and I pull in my military experience and I put it out there for them to see. So I don't know if this is the photo I would end up with, but it's one I had access to when I was building this out. But I want them to see me as a subject matter expert in another field as well as real estate. That's worked for me. You can decide what it looks like for you, but each and every one of us, we have skills, abilities outside of real estate that actually cause us to be better agents, realtors, brokers. So pull that information in. It could be maybe you were an educator, maybe you're a business owner, you're a mom, a parent, whatever it is. You want to word it in such a way that, hey, this is how I stand out in a crowd of agents that you might be interviewing. Any questions there? Now, in previous listing presentations, I had this up front, like slide 1. So if you want, I like to introduce them to the mission, the purpose and mission first, but it's up to you how you want to order these slides. Okay. The next one is, okay, this is a connect slide. So connect as in, we want them to see the connections that we have as a company, as a firm, and as an agent. So who can tell me what the purpose of this slide is? What's all the numbers about? How does that work for you?
You're not a lone wolf, and you have a great support system, and then look at the company, the more nationwide, that these one trust company.
Absolutely. All right. So if you'll look down here, it said the gray box refers to professionals. So if we go up to 2020 and look at the gray box, so Realty One Group at large, we have 20,000 plus agents. So this is a team slide. You want to say, this is my team. This is who's going to be behind your listing. And if you go down and look at total sales and go up, you can see for 2020, it was 45 billion. And then the gold bar refers to the total transactions for last year. So when you're building your listing presentation, this is where your clout comes from. If you're a newer agent, then you're not just going to talk about, you're not going to say, oh, you're my first listing. You're going to go and say, hey, this is my team. And by the way, we can throw in a text box over here and show our company stats, which I pulled up for. Yep. Okay. That's what I thought. Sorry. Sometimes I can't remember who I did what. You can pull up the firm stats for the last quarter, the last year, and say, hey, this is what my team is doing. Now, this is really important because you might be talking to a homeowner who might be thinking about for sale by owner, but they're going to interview agents anyway, and or just to get industry information. Right here, I like to show them this. There are over 25 professionals involved with the Realty One Group transaction. Any transaction that we do, there are multiple people involved, and they all have to juggle a task and do it in a timely fashion so that we can have a successful closing, right? So these stats are true. These are accurate. So there's an average of 25 people in every transaction. And we're the one to make that happen for them. We're going to be their mediator, their representative, whatever you want to call it. Now, again, you can change anything on this slide, but the value is in, hey, this is what my company, this is what we stand on, and hey, there's a lot going on in transactions, but I'm the professional that's going to make it happen. Any questions? Okay, this is big. So a lot of agents have their 35-point marketing plan, 60-point marketing plan, whatever. I think that's too much for people to digest. But here are some bullet points on topics that you want to cover, 10 seconds apiece in some cases, but you want to hit on, well, we're going to talk about what sells your house. These are the factors, the condition of your property when we sell it. So that's why I want to do a walkthrough, look and see what the updates, upgrades are, and also see what the deficiencies are, like maybe it needs paint or new carpet. Pricing strategy is huge. We're going to talk about that. That's part of my marketing strategy. And I give them my pricing strategy. I say, hey, I'm going to give you, I'm not going to tell you what to list your house at, but I'm going to give you 3 price points. I'm going to give you top of market, I'm going to give you quick sale, and I'm going to give you my recommended list price, which usually falls just under top of market. So that's how I do it. Identifying active buyers. How do we do that? And you better have a plan. Now, in our seller's guide, we can break this down. The seller's guide is actually your listing presentation plus, and I can give you a copy if you don't have it. A lot of this information is the same. But anyway, how are we going to identify active buyers? Well, because I've been in the business 17 years, I have a database full of buyers, and also I have social media channels where I know active buyers are looking, and we are communicating, however you want to say it. As a professional agent, I only do high quality photos. I hire that out as a benefit for you, the client. Same with video tour. Now, local and national network of over 100,000 agents. This is a stat that comes probably from NAR. I can get you some more information on that, but if you want to change that or go with it, the point is you're in a network that's going to help them. Advanced international and internet exposure, and that's going to be broken down a little more later in the presentation. And then Realty One Group enhanced marketing and signage. You know why it's enhanced marketing? Because our company won top national awards for their marketing, for their branding about 3 years ago. It was a competition based out of New York City. So, but anyway, everything that we do is enhanced because that's how we roll, right? So our marketing, our signage, everything's going to be branded accordingly. It's going to pop. It's going to get people's attention. So however you want to say that. Any questions? By the way, if you want to replace, you can replace this picture. I decided to keep what was in it just for sake of time. Okay, first impressions. We always want to talk to a prospective home seller because everybody is in their head when it comes to their own house. There are things they've seen it so much they don't notice. So we have to talk to them about curb appeal. We have to talk to them about landscaping. You know, why the toys need to be picked up in the backyard, or why the trash can needs to be behind the fence. So it sounds trivial, but it's really important, because when somebody sees a photo or drives up to a property the first time, just think about you as a buyer. Things affect us. So if I go and I see a home and the front door is falling in, then guess what? I'm going to think the rest of the house is falling in, right? So good conversation, and you can have a sidebar with them at a later point, but you want to bring this up and talk about value and why curb appeal is important. All right. Then the interior, the same thing. Instead of curb appeal, it's home staging, right? What inside the house needs to be tweaked? And at this point, you're not telling them what needs to be done. You're saying, hey, I'm going to help you walk through. And with my market expertise, I'm going to tell you what you need to clean up, repair, and or rehab if needed. And outside of that, when it comes to staging your home, I mean, is there clutter on the floor? Is there too much furniture in the living room? All of that goes into staging. You don't have to be a professional stager. Some agents do hire a stager to come in and point out things that we just talked about. So however you want to do it. But the point is, you want them to know that we have to really take a close look at the interior of their home. All right. This is a slide that's going to tell you, hey, this is where all these things come together. And you're just going to talk a little bit about, hey, your house is in a really good area. It's multiple offer day one, or, you know, you're in a rural area. You know, there's some things about the property that some people are going to like. The distance is going to keep some people from looking. Whatever your talking points are for that house, these are the buzzwords that remind you. Condition of the property, we've already hit on that a little bit. Talk about supply and demand. So right now, that's where you're going to tell them about the current market. And what is the current market? Crazy. Crazy. So what you can do is always go to my favorite lender, and also I like to read a lot of news articles, but I like to keep track of what's going on with interest rates, the stock market, things like that. And I'm not the expert, and I'm not going to talk about those things very much, but I'm going to show them information from somebody who knows what they're talking about. So same thing, economic trends, why people buy when they do, strategic negotiations. So here I like to tell them that, hey, negotiation is one of the things I love best about being in real estate, because I can negotiate on your behalf. Just because what seems to be is not always true. Just because that house is listed at 500,000 and we made the offer at 500, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to close at 500. It might be 510. Hey, we decided that. Well, anyway, but no, you get what I'm saying. So these are buzzwords. So you need to have some bullet points in your head or written out somewhere else that, hey, you're going to talk about these topics a little bit. All right. In this slide, for those of you who've been through Rev Up, you'll remember this. So somebody tell me what each of these slides mean. Brittany, I know you know. What about the left image?
So if you price it above
The triangle? Or am I looking at that?
if you price it above the market value, that would.
It's how you, can you hear me? I don't think I can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
It's just like the different ranges of selling your house or putting your house on the market, how likely you are to sell it or get offers, I guess.
Right, the exposure, and these are for balanced markets, by the way, but the principle still remains the same. If you price a house, even in this market, if a house is worth 800,000, you try to sell it for $1.5 million, probably nobody's going to look at it, or people are going to call you and say bad things. So how we price the property is really important. And the second image speaks to longevity, timing. The takeaway is you always want to tell your clients, history, stats have proven that the first 2 weeks on the market are really crucial in the life of the listing. Hey, even in this market, because sometimes I'll see a listing now that's been out there for like days. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with this thing? You know, why is this not under contract? And I've seen homes in this market that have been under contract 5 times and they're still sitting there. So, hey, time speaks. So this is important because they need to have their house marketable and ready. So if they think they're going to put it on the market and then paint it after it gets on the market or whatever, you probably don't want to do that. You want to put it on market at its best. Or if they put it on the market and then say, hey, I'm going to be out of town for a week, I can't show it, you're going to have to say, hey, no, let's list it after you get back from your vacation, because these 2 first weeks, days on market, is really important. All right. Generational trends. All right, this is good information to know, and Realty One Group has decided to put it in the listing presentation. So what's the takeaway here? Somebody tell me. Yep. Look at your highest percentages. So if somebody's thinking they're going to try to sell their house on their own, and again, when we go and we talk to a prospect or a potential seller, we don't know what they're thinking. Again, if they're thinking they're going to do this on their own, well, they better have a lot better reach than I do. Because like I said, after 17 years, the database that I have and the reach that I have on my social media and all that good stuff, I've had to pay for that. It's cost me, it's an investment. So they can tap into that and get the benefits. And this might be a good place or a good time to talk about when somebody lists their home with an agent, how much more they get, how much more the house sells for than selling on their own. And it used to be 18% higher. Not sure what it is right now, but it's a stat you want to look up. Any questions? Okay, so really this slide here, the power of media. So let me just read it. With my extensive online audience, use of high quality photos and video and other resources from Realty One Group, I'll expose your listing to real leads around the world. What the takeaway is because of how the property is going to show, and to the extent that it's going to show worldwide, it's because we have List Hub Global, which is in another slide. So some of these slides could come together. That's the power. That's the power behind the slide. So the slide's talking about media, but it's a little more than that. It's talking about reach. And here's some stats you can tell them. 99% of millennials begin their home search online. Guess what? Millennials aren't going looking, you know, they're not going driving out first. I mean, probably most of us aren't, to be honest. Any questions? Okay, this slide is to let them know that, hey, they can stay connected to you and their listing through our One app. And also, this is how you connect all the leads to your database so you don't miss anything. So there's a lot of talking points that go with this slide, however you choose. But you can show them how they can promote the listing through their network, how you promote it through your network, share the app. And then, by the way, if they're selling their house, they may be looking to buy. So you might want them looking on your app for homes. That way you can track what they're doing. And I guess if you're going to have this slide, you need to make sure you're using the app. Okay. What happened to my Facebook? There it is. So really the power of this is to let them know what social media channels you're on and that you're connected. Again, this slide probably could be put together with another slide. All right, here's the global part. So in our network of over 85 top international sites located in over 50 different countries and translated in 16 languages, we reach over 60 million buyers and investors worldwide. So those stats speak to some people, especially analyticals, but they're good to have. It's good to know. So with List Hub Global, which our company automatically puts our listings into, we could, you know, potentially have a buyer from another foreign market or overseas. And by the way, did you know as an agent, you can start marketing to foreign investors because of this? There are some agents in Realty One Group. If you'll look on, I can't remember which Facebook group, it might be the referral group, but there are agents who just focus on selling. They find a key person, say like in Costa Rica or somewhere like that. It's an investor, and then investors are buying properties here like crazy. I know there was one agent who was working with a couple Chinese investors, and they're buying up like a lot of stuff. Politics aside and personal thoughts, if you want to make money selling to foreign investors, you might want to get, that's something that you can do, but you might want to get some assistance in learning how to do that the right way.
You're saying we can connect with those people through this List Hub Global?
Yep. Also, there's you can reach out. There's someone with Realty One Group that's over all of that you can reach out to them and they can help you connect. Remind me, and I'll see if I can get that information.
Okay. And is List Hub Global, is that like Realty One specific, or is every agency also pushing out?
Yeah, it's just like List Hub we used here to push out, except it's List Hub foreign markets. It's usually, so if you're with another big box company, you have to pay extra for that, and some of those companies do. Some of the smaller brokerages do not, so their agents wouldn't have access unless they paid for it on their own, which would cost a lot more money to do that. Okay, this page is important, and you can reformat it if you want, but these are testimonials. So I've thrown 3 up here. The font is not the same, so don't make that mistake. But this is where you're going to put some client testimonials. When you email this or leave this with a prospective client, they'll go back and look at this, and they'll read these testimonials to see what people are saying. Yeah, of course, they know we're going to put our best ones on here, but they still want to know what other people are saying about us. All right, so We're towards the end of our listing presentation. So in wrap up, what we say is, hey, this is how we're going to get started. This is my plan, 6-point plan. I'm going to do a CMA. We're going to talk about pricing. We're going to look at the listing agreement disclosure. Number 4, the marketing plan, how we start that, talking about electronic lock boxes and then yard signs. So this is everything leading up to putting the sign in the yard. All right, additional marketing. You can leave this slide in if you want, or you can take it out. Probably this slide is more for you, the agent, to remind you that if you go to One Design, you can get these additional marketing pieces that have the same branding. But also you can show them, hey, I'm gonna put out marketing pieces that are branded by our company. This is what some of them look like. All right, this is where we're kind of tooting the company's horn. These are the awards, the achievements that the company has had in the last recent years. So ranked number 1, top 1%, Real Trends, Riz Media, Entrepreneur, Inc. 500, top global franchisor as recognized by National Association of Realtors, yada, yada. I'm glad the company put this stuff together for me. I don't have to go out and look for it, but you can actually, back up. You can add to it too. You can come in here and add another logo or put in another text box. All right, we have left you some empty slides to put in whatever else you feel is needed. I probably would put in my vendor slide. This is the vendor team that I work with. So you're going to have a survey, a pest inspector, home inspector, so-and-so. And then you want to thank them. So it's just a wrap up. Thank you. And that's it. Any questions? All right. No questions. So who wants to know what the secret sauce is to winning the listing? First, let me ask you, what do you think the listing presentation was all about?
Sharing confidence with the seller that we will be able to obtain what it is they are hoping to get, and setting realistic expectations.
Sharing confidence and setting realistic expectations. Great. Okay. What else?
Gaining the trust.
Gaining trust. Okay, good.
Building value.
Building value. Excellent. Okay, so here's the special or secret ingredient. It's really not a secret. The key to winning the listing is how well you present yourself. It's you. You are the secret ingredient, whatever you want to call it. It's all about you, because so the one difference about us and the reason why we started Realty One Group, after being with a couple other big companies in town, we saw that at the end of the day, it was about the company rather than the agent. When it came time to make the decisions, it was about money, bottom line. And we decided, hey, that shouldn't be the case. It should be about the agent. Yes, we do have to watch our bottom line, but if we treat people the right way, our bottom line should take care of itself. So we want to treat agents first, put them as a priority. So having said that, that means that real estate is about your business. It's about you, the buyer's agent, listing agent, whatever you're going to call yourself. It's about your business, because when your business grows, we grow here at Realty One Group. So if we can help you grow your business and achieve your goals, your dreams, then our mission is complete, or we've done what we've said we're going to do. So with this listing presentation, it's an attempt to put all of that on paper or graphic so that you can deliver it to someone, or so that it can remind you the things that you need to say to win them over. And I don't say that in a bad way. I say it in a good way, because that's what we're doing. We're in sales, right? We're competing against each other. We're competing against everybody else in the market. So there you go. The secret ingredient is you. So how well you do, meaning your training, your education, your experience, how well you pull all that together will determine your conversion rate, determine how many clients you work with. Yeah, so sometimes people do kind of fall off trees and stuff lands in your lap, but that's not every day. So you want to work at it hard so that people trust you, they know who you are, they know you will do right by them, and they'll hire you, they'll talk about you to their friends and family, their network, and before you know it, you'll have more business than you can handle. So here's what I'm gonna do. If you have the completed listing presentation by the end of the day, I want you to email me and say, hey, I've got my listing presentation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your name and I'm going to do a drawing, probably have somebody else do the drawing. And then the winner's I'm going to have a sign made to your specs with your information on it, that is, and it'll be delivered to one of our offices and you can pick it up in a few days. So how does that sound?
Good.
So by the end of the day, have your completed listing presentation, send me your name or send me an email or a text, and your name's going in the pot, and then we'll choose. So just a little bit of motivation from me so you'll have this done, because if you're like me sometimes, as a procrastinator, then the next thing you know, you're gonna be walking down the street and somebody will say, hey, I heard you're an agent. I want to talk to you about selling my house. And then you don't have a presentation ready. So this way you have it in the pocket, it's done, and you can move on and get the business. All right, any questions?
Somewhat related to this, not necessarily the presentation, but what advice do you have when it comes to dating against somebody that is discounting?
Okay.
I know, like, I recently lost.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me. So I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.